welcome back to the Azure Files. We hope you've been enjoying this season as much as we have been enjoying making this season.
Yes, it has really been good. Thank you for all your questions and thank you for keeping them coming in, and as a result we are still here. I see that you have failed me once again with the little phone.
Matt, I'm getting a lot of comments about, Othelo, you're doing a lot of dad jokes, so I thought I'd try to upgrade my image and try and modernize like the youth of today. Try and like upgrade.
Okay.
I see you've also modernized. I see you've now supporting PowerShell fully.
Yeah, so
That's
now
quite cool.
PowerShell has become a part of me, and that's why I've decided to have it on a shirt close to my heart. So I'm seeing error 404 here. I know what that means.
Okay.
I don't know if you just want to share with us a
So
little.
this kind of relates to the question of the week
Okay.
that's come through. So in essence, we have Nigel in Benoni. He has strong requirements for uptime in his business, but with a really limited budget. What recommendations do we have to do our DR on the cheap? So if you don't have DR, you're going to obviously not find sleep, and obviously things aren't up and running, you're going to have a 404 error.
100%. So I love this question because a lot of what I've done over the last year has been initially doing DR strategies for on-premise architectures in the cloud, and then when they become fully production systems in the cloud, furthering that and creating more DR around that. So this is a great question, and we love answering this.
Now you love it, and I'm not going to admit this in public, but you are the genius when it comes to this kind of thing. Really are.
It's a lot of replication and backing up and all of that stuff, but it is all very necessary to have when we're talking about DR.
Cool. So what advice do you have for Nigel?
So I think first of all, just putting a server in Azure, you already are going to leverage off something free called availability sets.
That's cool.
So availability sets are free, and essentially what that does is it deploys a copy of your virtual machine onto a different host that is actually in a different cabinet. This is the diagram from Microsoft. So the host is actually sitting in a different cabinet. Now what that's called is a fault domain. Now, for those people that don't know what fault domains are, it is essentially a separate domain where your virtual machine is hosted on, in case there is a hardware failure on a primary node. Also, if Microsoft are doing patching and updating on a single node or whatever, at least your machine is not going to be affected by that, because you've put it into availability set, which has now put a service layer across, and it has now taken your virtual machine, copied it onto a separate host in a separate cabinet, and you are protected from that kind of stuff. So I think...
So in essence, it'll take down that machine, patch it, you won't even know it's been patched, bring it back up again, and you don't know the difference.
100%. So you can also increase the amount of fault domains that you've got. So you'll see initially when you created an availability set, it gives you 2 fault domains, but you can go up to 4, and I think now even 6 fault domains.
Do you pay for those extra?
You don't.
Okay,
So
it's
that's
free.
cool. So you don't get access to your secondary machine,
Okay.
and that's the difference. So you've got that redundancy layer across your virtual machine infrastructure, but you don't actually get access to that until there's obviously a fault. All right, and you won't know the difference, and that's what I like about it, is that once again we move away from DR administration and fault tolerance administration and all of that kind of stuff, and we just go straight into deployment and runtime and uptime and all of that kind of stuff. But it's not really a DR. Okay, it is a fail-safe for if something happens to the host that you own.
Yeah.
What a DR is essentially if we lose the entire site. So if there's a region failure,
Right.
in a data center, an availability set is not going to help you. And what you need to then do is you need to have your machines replicated to a different data center that are essentially almost like standby machines. So what's cool is that if we spun up a recovery services vault in Azure, we could create a DR task to use site recovery and replicate our machines into a different data center. From that, we will then set our RPO, which is our recovery point objective, to replicate either every 60 minutes or replicate every 15 minutes, depending on how critical the data is. In the event of a failure, I lose the site or whatever, all I would need to do is go into the site recovery vault in the secondary region and click fail over, and it will spin the machines up. Now, you will have your IP addresses change, you will have those things change, but your data will be there and your machine will be powered on. And all you'd need to do is you'd need to redirect your traffic to that IP address, and there's another feature in Azure called Traffic Manager, and there's load balancing that we can do to accommodate those things. We can also look at, once your machines are filed over, making maybe that the new production site and replicating back. There's a whole bunch of things. You could also use blob storage for that. So I mean, a lot of the time, Site Recovery Vault does save a lot of money when you're even using your on-premise servers and DRing them in Azure, because first cost benefit is that you're not going to pay for the VMs when they're not on. And the second thing is that you are not going to pay for production storage when you are just using your machines and storing them on blob storage. Blob storage is very cost effective.
So just hang on. Nigel, if you want more information on that, we have covered it in previous episodes of the Azure Files. So please go back to the back of the history and have a look at it. I know one of the big things on DR now is that Azure has released it across subscriptions.
Yes.
So you can now you've got your test and dev subscription or your EA, and you can do it across your CSP or vice versa.
Yeah.
So that's one of the cool stuff.
It really is cool. And if you have more questions around that, please contact us and we'll give you some use cases and current scenarios that we've done already for customers that are using DR for on-premise servers, as well as customers using DR for their Azure machines.
All right, and as we say, the geek of the week, or the geek question of the week, is not the geek, he's the genius of the week.
Geek fact.
Did you know that 5 nines of availability translates into downtime levels of less than 5.26 minutes per year? I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, I just ignore those nines, but I think it's very relevant
Ignore
when
the
you hear
nines.
stats like that.
Okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Please, with regards to DR or anything Azure related, please drop us a mail. Let us try and answer that question for you.
Yes, thank you so much for all your questions, and please keep them coming in.
And please don't forget to subscribe.